that's enough of that. I just wanted to go live for a few seconds and give people a chance to get their notifications and maybe get here. If you get here today, go ahead and put in a comment, man. Let me know where you're coming from, what you're doing. I'm going to slap up the live chat here on the right so I can see if anyone is coming anything. I made a big mistake. I hit, go live and then realized my coffee mug is empty. so shame on me. Shame on me. Folks, I do this just about every Friday. I come here and I say Fitness Focus Freedom Friday. Uh, you know, if you're a fan of alliteration, I guess you're going to like it, right? Fitness Focus Freedom Friday. So I went live earlier in the week and I told you guys, or was it last week? The gym is out. The gym is out for the next month or so. I got to give the resolutionaries a chance to get tired and stop going to the gym. Not that the gym was overly crowded. It wasn't overly crowded. It was just full of people that were like angry. I go to the gym because, I don't say I go to the gym because I like the gym. I'm not really a gym rat. I don't hang out there a bunch. But I go in and I get it done. I'm a year-round gym attendee. I go in, I get my workout done, I leave. I go in, I get my workout done, I leave. I went in there last week and there was a bunch of spandex and a bunch of brand new athletic wear that quite honestly should not have been worn, and people that were grumpy and angry and judgmental, and I just didn't want to be there. It was just a bad vibe, just a really bad vibe. And I thought, well, there's a lot of distractions in our culture right now. Maybe it's just affecting people. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm going to take the step back, right? So as we jump into Fitness Focus Freedom Friday, we got to I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say we got to recognize. We don't got to recognize. You don't have to recognize nothing. I can just tell you, mountain bike season started for us here in Kansas. We have a spring mountain bike season, so that means that practice for our team starts in January. Yeah, dead nuts winter out there. We're out there riding mountain bikes, and so we've already had 2 practices. If you're interested in the team, hutchcomposite.com. hutchcomposite.com. That's our mountain bike team. It's for kids from 5th grade to 12th grade. I'm one of the coaches, and we're out there getting her done. And then we've gotten really, really lucky. So the last 2 Sundays were both unseasonably warm, and one day was like super sunny, but windy as hell. And as soon as we started doing the exercises, the wind had subsided. And I was like, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. And as soon as we were done with practice, it got windy again. And I thought, well, timing's perfect. The good Lord came through. So again, if you're coming in live, comment, who are you, where you're from. You can even argue with me if you want. I don't care. We can have a good time. But go ahead and put your comments into the comments into the comments, right? Comments into the chat. And so mountain biking's great. Haven't gotten in enough like road biking. Like I still need to condition myself. I still need to go out and do that. Still need to do that. Haven't done it. Need to get back out. And if I'm not going to the gym, I definitely got to do something. The good news is we have a golden doodle. And so I can leash up that golden doodle and baby. Oh, and I can take him for a walk in the park. We live really close to a pretty large park with a walking path, and I can take him over there. We can walk a lap there. And what's really cool is there's always like somebody there. They're either playing disc golf or there's people there with their kids. And the dog just loves going and meeting people, and everyone wants to meet him. And it's a good time. And I get in like 3 miles. So it's a good thing for me to go do. I need to walk or bike as much as humanly possible because I'm fat, right? That's all there is to it. So Fitness Focus Freedom Friday. Fitness also comes to mental health. I'm part of a podcast called the Agency Action Show. And last Friday, we recorded a show. Hasn't been published yet. But we recorded a show because my co-star, my co-host on the show, lives in Minneapolis. And so maybe that makes me pay a little more attention to the things in Minneapolis, maybe. Or maybe it's that you can't go online without seeing nonsense about Minneapolis. I'm on I'm on more of the conservative side of the seesaw. And I still have feelings, thoughts. You mentioned like Black Lives Matter, and I'm like, "Ugh," right? Um, because we lived in Southern California. We lived like riots were going crazy in LA, and we lived 30 miles away from it, but it was there. I mean, that's your backyard, right? You're like a 30 or 40-minute drive away, and there's mayhem. There's craziness in the streets. And you would see it like on the news, and you would go, "Well, that's so weird because that's not my neighborhood." Right? That's so weird. That's not my neighborhood, but it's close. It's super close. And we saw this pop up all over the country. But it was Minneapolis that really caught the nation's eye, right? Um, when Rittenhouse shot, and there was such an argument about, was he justified? Was he not justified? Is he a murderer? Was it self-defense? Was, all these things. Should he have been there? Should he have not have been there? Was okay, well, should anybody have been there? Like, come to the like the like normal conversations. There were no there were zero normal conversations about that event. There were no normal conversations about the riots in the Black Lives Matter riots in California. There were no normal conversations at all, right? People say, "Well, that person shouldn't have been there, so that wouldn't have happened if that person wasn't there." Well, none of the people should have been there doing what they were doing. If the riot didn't happen in the first place, none of that would have happened. So you can have these really ridiculous conversations. The media is doing everything they can to sensationalize and make this thing go crazy. This mom that got shot, in her car. I'm not going to go into details because I'm sure half the people listening are going to say that I'm biased one way or the other. But it's just the saturation, or the constant in the feed, in the news, in the mention, it's like they're trying to make a George Floyd out of this lady. All right. Um, I want you to think about how many competing things are coming at you about this region of our country right now. Again, I have a friend that lives there, and I don't think this friend is on the same side of the seesaw that I'm on, which is fine. Friends are friends. Friends are friends. I'll be friends with you no matter what you believe. Like, let's figure this out. We can have a conversation. Um, you got Nick Shirley still driving around and filming millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in fraud. Then you have the state closing schools in what? Hopes that the kids show up at the daycares that haven't had kids in years, collecting millions and millions and millions of dollars. The other thing that really struck me was Nick Shirley goes up to a building today and he says, this building is certified for 118 kids and they get $2.2 million a year from the government. They get $2.2 million for what? For what? They're running a daycare. People are going to pay to put their kids in there, right? And like any other business, you get paid from your customers. Oh, that's right. The customers don't have the money, supposedly, even though they need daycare to go to work. Doesn't make any sense. Nobody gave me free daycare when I had a job and had to take my kids to daycare. So I don't understand the whole premise. The whole premise is bizarre. This is part of the fitness part, right? Fitness Focus Freedom Friday. Our mental health is getting tested like crazy. So then you think, well, they're getting money from some customers, but maybe some customers are free. How does that really work? And then you go, well, $2.2 million. I know people that run daycares, that sell daycare services to people that don't make $2.2 million a year. So why is it such an exorbitant amount of money to be in some converted warehouse or a liquor store that says it's a child care facility? Look, I'm not making it up. Maybe Nick Shirley is making it up. But no one is jumping on and saying that Nick Shirley is wrong. Like Tim Walz doesn't jump on with his public address and say, this is a scam, this is wrong, this is totally made up, this is a fabrication. He hasn't denied any of these allegations. Instead, what he said is people are mean and people are cruel. And what Trump's doing in Minneapolis, there's going to be accountability for that. And there's a rule of law in Minneapolis. And if you listen to him on that public announcement that he just made, I I thought it was AI. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was AI. I thought it was a joke. I didn't realize it was for serious. And then Fox News like re-aired it on Facebook, and because I don't watch Fox News on TV. And so it's in my Facebook feed, and Tim Walz pops up. I said, "Well, what's he talking about?" And I started listening to it, and I thought, "Oh, it's AI. It's fake." And then I was like, "Maybe it's not fake." This guy was almost our vice president. This guy was almost our vice president. And I'm listening, and I'm like, this will not be tolerated. There's rule of law. I'm like, well, if there was rule of law, how would you have all of these people stealing from you? How would you have so much corruption in your city and state? Like, how have you? And then he goes on and says more damaging things to himself. So much projection in that video. And then I thought to myself, well, there's a bunch of people on the other side of the seesaw that see this. And the violence, it will continue to spool. The violence will continue to grow. And in the middle of that, ICE throws out a list of here's the 30 people that we've collected out of the city so far that are truly heinous individuals. This is who the mayor and the governor want to put back on the streets. Well, that just fuels people up even more. This is not healthy. And so, Fitness Focus Freedom Friday. What am I going to say? There's not a lot for me to say. I can't make you not see it. I can't make you not think about it. But here's what I can do. Last week, again, this comes into this is like a fitness thing. I'm in the middle of running my business, and I get an email from Adillo that says, hey, that lifetime deal we sold you a few years ago to host your videos for life and not have to pay again. Yeah, we're not going to honor that. Click here to pick your new subscription. Whoa. I paid you for lifetime access. I didn't negotiate that deal, by the way. Like, that deal was offered, right? They offered a lifetime deal. I said, that sounds great. I bought it. I work with other people. I work with plugin developers that have lifetime deals. They do it as a money grab. Like, hey, we got to raise some revenue. Let's do a lifetime deal. And then they still sell subscriptions to, other people. Apparently, Adillo just sold lifetime deals, I guess, because they ran out of money. And so they sent an email that said, this isn't financially feasible. This is unsustainable. Well, I didn't pick the business model, chap. You did. You sold me lifetime access. And then the project isn't dying. It's still going, and they want to sell me a subscription. So I start doing the research on video hosting, and I kind of knew where I was going to have to go anyway because I put a lot of customers into this tool. But I did the math, and I just can't pay Adillo 9 times what it would cost me to put the videos in bunny.net. I cannot justify giving a company that sold me lifetime access more money that is 9 times what I would pay another service provider. Can't do it. I can't do it. So I moved my videos, I am moving my videos over to bunny.net and then restructuring all of those video embeds in all of my website projects so that I don't have a bunch of, this media is not available right now messages in my websites. This is going to take focus. So when I say Fitness Focus Freedom Friday, and then I talk about fitness and I talk about a little bit about mental health and our distractions, how do we focus? Get a project. Get something that you can pour yourself into and that you can do. Write a book. Like for me, I've got about 200 hours worth of work to do to move and organize all of these videos and their placements all over the internet. Like, I've got to figure it out. I've got to go through all my stuff and I've got to figure out, okay, where's that video? Where's it hosted? Move that over to the new server and then change the code so that the website points to the right version of the video. And then I've got about 24 days left, I think it is, with the Dillo, because they gave me a 30-day notice. So I've got like 24 days, and then they're going to turn the account off. Yeah. And I guess the other add-on services that I bought that never really worked well anyway, I guess I just don't get access to those anymore either. So needless to say, not happy with that provider. But it comes into Fitness Focus Freedom Friday. Today's Friday. I'm going to do a little bit more focus today. I'm going to move some more videos over. I'm going to, handle it like a grown up and get done what I need to get done. I said, what would you do to focus? Well, do you like to cook? Go cook something. Get happy in the kitchen. I mentioned the fitness side, right? Go for a walk in the park, go for a bike ride, whatever. Pick something where you can unplug yourself and focus on something for a while. On a positive note, I got a new tablet. Okay. You guys know I was a fan of the Remarkable. So I have wanted, of course, I put in the wrong one while I'm on you. No pressure, Kurt. No pressure. I have wanted to get a color version, the Remarkable Paper Pro. And so I've got that here, and couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier. And my Remarkable 2 went to a really great new home. I'm really happy with how I figured out how to liquidate that. Didn't sell it. I relocated it to a really good home. It's going to get some really good use. These Remarkable products to me are phenomenal. They're just phenomenal. They're a game changer for me. I get up, I have my quiet time with the Lord, maybe a little prayer. I figure out my calendar for the day. Hey, what's really important to knock out for the day? How do I focus? And then I execute, right? Fitness Focus Freedom Friday. Now, part of that leads to freedom. If I can get up early in the morning and I can dive into this book, like this month, I'm doing this month on kurtvanonen.com, if you want to see it all, every day I get up and I read a chapter of Proverbs. I do it on YouTube, and then I take that YouTube video, or a copy of that YouTube video, I should say, and I put it into kurtvanonen.com. It's in a course structure, but the course is free, and it's reading the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is one of the most powerful books in Scripture because it is the book of wisdom. And I say, hey, wisdom is free, right? Fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, yet fools despise wisdom and instruction. So don't be a fool. Embrace the book, read the book, or follow along with me if you want. It's not a big deal. This is not a shine the spotlight on Kurt. This is a shine the spotlight on the Word. So I've done this exercise before with other people. First of the year rolls around and you say, hey, January 1st, Proverbs 1, January 2nd, Proverbs 2. And so I'm kind of following that model. And I didn't really want to copy other people, but I will tell you that when I've done this with other people, I found that those exercises became about the person rather than the scripture, or became about their organization and not necessarily the scripture. And so when I chose to do this, I wanted to make all of the sessions very short. We open in prayer, we read a chapter, we close in prayer. That's it. And it's an evergreen resource. So I'm not taking it down. It'll be on kurtvanonen.com for lifetime for free. And you could just use it as a resource. Like if you don't want to do it every day, you don't, right? But let's say you wake up on March 20th and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Hey, maybe I should open up this chapter. You can go to the website and go right to Proverbs 20 and just look at the scripture that matches the number of that day. That's a fun thing to do. It's a good thing to do. So that's really cool, right? Fitness, focus, freedom Friday. Where's the freedom going to come in today? I've got a Jeep to work on, and I have the time and the space to do that. That's awesome. I have my day marked out, right? So I have my planning executed. And so if I do the planning well in the morning and I execute well through focus during the day, I'm going to have that freedom later. Now, today I did schedule a coaching client for 3:00. I want to make sure that I'm saying this correct. Okay. So I do have a coaching client at 3 o'clock. So, but I don't have anything from 2 to 3, and I don't have anything after 4 o'clock. Freedom, freedom to do whatever. All of the tasks of my day, like I'm doing another podcast recording at 11. So, freedom. Now, I consider this part of my freedom. I do this because I enjoy this. So, I consider this part of my freedom. So, I have this, I do the podcast, and then I pepper in free spaces in my Fridays. And my free spaces in my Fridays are like catch up days. So if I miss something on Wednesday or Thursday, or if people I contract for have an emergency, which emergencies typically happen on Fridays, I've got the freedom to be able to fit that in and not be like, not feel restricted, not feel closed in. And I think that's important, right? I do a lot of talk about this fitness focused Freedom Friday idea. And I'm trying to relay it in a way that makes sense because they all go together. Fitness Focus Freedom Friday is like finish the week strong, give yourself a little bit of birth, give yourself some free space, right? Don't pack yourself so tight. I believe in time blocking for the rest of the week, but realistically Fridays I try to keep pretty light because things happen. And then if I manage to get done everything that's on my list today, right? That freedom's really going to kick in. Like as soon as 4 o'clock hits, I can make whatever I want for dinner. I can run down the sandhills and have a beer. I could take the dog for another walk. Um, freedom, freedom. If I want to jump back in and start reading another chapter of this book, oh, I'm reading this book right now, The Fully Booked Coach. Why? Because KurtVonAnen.com has launched a coaching product, which is me. And so it would be really cool to read from an expert and pick up some hints, pick up some gold nuggets on how to really optimize that. And so that's what I mean by freedom. If I want to read 2 or 3 chapters of this book today and work on myself, I can do that. If I want to light the pellet torch and sit on the back patio and next to the flame and just kind of feel like homey, I can do that. I mean, if I want to pour an adult beverage and have a cigar at 4 o'clock, boom, Focus Freedom Friday, baby. I can do what I want to do at that space, at that time. And I think that lends itself to a sense of wellness that and wellness isn't an F word, right? So wellness doesn't fit with my alliteration thing. It fits with fitness, right? But that idea of wellness means that I can begin to optimize other areas of life. One of the things I've said for a while is fiscal health is completely dependent upon physical health. Are there some people that can burst through and become wealthy or successful or even and overcome, problems with physical fitness, right? Obviously, we all think about, different people that have overcome obstacles, living in a wheelchair, but still executing this, that, and the other thing, right? Yes, there are those breakout cases. Yes. But by and large, the healthier you are physically, the healthier you can become fiscally. And I truly believe that. And I really, really experienced that when I became a fat bastard working at Ducati. It was airfare, hotel, rental car, eat what I want, no exercise, just do whatever I wanted to do from a position of sloth, right? Had that corporate credit card, traveling and doing. I didn't really have time with the family. The family was going to the beach and hiking in the woods and doing things. And where was I? I was traveling to Chicago. I was going to Dulles Airport. I was going to Florida. I was all over the place except for things that took care of my health. And so I experienced firsthand what it was like to lose a little bit of my physical health. And I saw what it did to my ability to create in the business space, right? Fiscal health. So now that I'm self-employed, now that I give myself the freedom to do certain things, I'm able to focus on my fitness. I'm able to focus on other things that require focus. I'm able to enjoy the freedom and I'm able to wrap up every week with a Friday and a little bit of a celebration of a week well done. It's awesome. Just going to tell you, I thought January was going to start off kind of slow. I thought, oh boy, I hope things work out. And like I say, I'm a person of faith. He always has it, right? It always works out in the end. Always works out in the end. I may not be a millionaire. I might not live in a mansion, but he always works it out in the end. Just got an email yesterday. Hey, we got this new task for you. Can you execute it starting at the end of this month? And this is what it's going to pay. And you know what it's going to pay? Exactly what I needed to see come in. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. If we stay focused on fitness, focus, freedom, I throw in Friday because it's fun. But if we can stay focused on our fitness, our focus, and our freedoms, a lot of these things fall into alignment. Some of you might say it's like the secret, right? Maybe I'm manifesting this success. Maybe I'm manifesting the results. If that's what you choose to believe, that's fine. I believe in a higher power that takes care of me. All right. But there's a lot of coincidence here in how things work out. Now, for my friends, not just my one friend and co-host and co-star of that show, but for my friends that are up there at the Ducati store, the Ducati dealership, my friends in Ohio, my friends in Minneapolis, my friends in New York, my friends in California, my friends in Florida, all of these places where we're seeing signs of scaled unrest. I'm not talking about the occasional protest here or there. I'm talking about scaled unrest. Please know that you have my prayers, you have my thoughts, you have. I really pray that this can start to get worked out. I personally really struggle, and I'm open to anyone giving me comments. I'm not looking for arguments or flaming or name calling or anything like that, but enlighten me if I've somehow lost the plot on this. I don't understand why we're fighting so hard to keep illegal aliens in our country. I saw people from the left posting like, ICE went into this business and they picked up everybody and now everybody's gone and the restaurant's closed. Well, what does that tell you? That tells you you've got all of these people that are citizens that are on unemployment that can't find work. And all of a sudden, the whole business gets shut down because all the employees were illegal aliens? That doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't be upset about it. You'd be like, those were jobs. Those were jobs. I I don't understand. I can't. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around. Like when they put out a list of criminals, rapists, pedophiles, all these people that they picked up, people that had what do they call that? Final something order, right? Where they were supposed to be removed from our country 10 years ago, removed from our country 15 years ago, removed from our country 20 years ago, but they've still been walking the streets with active criminal records. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how somebody could be an undocumented person, an illegal alien, have a rap sheet, have now I can't remember what they call it. What do they call that when they're going to kick somebody out? A final you got to go order, right? And then they get picked up for shoplifting, or they get picked up for assault, or they get picked up for drunk driving. They get picked up for that. And then what? They get a citation and told to go to court for drunk driving? They have a deportation order. That's what it is. They have a deportation order. They're a historical criminal, and they're still on your streets because you've continued to slap them on the wrist and let them go, or just accept the fact that they're going to have an open warrant for their arrest because they never do go to the court date. But if you arrest them and pick them up again, you give them another court date and you let them go again. Like, to logical people, to people that process things, like this whole idea of like, we have rule of law. Okay, if we really had rule of law, those people wouldn't be here. They just wouldn't be here. And now we have all these people getting upset about it. And they say people are being kidnapped. Who's being kidnapped? They're being arrested. They're being detained for deportation. That's not kidnapped. I don't understand our use of words. I really don't understand a lot of it. And I'm open to being wrong. Unlike other people that are so emphatic about always wanting to be right all the time, I'm open to being wrong. If you could come in with a comment and tell me and say, Kurt, you got it all wrong. This is how it's really happening. I have a family member that is telling me that citizens are being deported. Anyone that says anything bad about Trump runs the risk of being deported, and they're going to take away their rights to vote, and they're going to do all these things. And I was like, well, then tell me about one of them. I mean, we knew about the Maryland man. We knew details about him. So if there's really these injustices that are happening to citizens, if the citizenry is being abused, tell us. Give us the details. Get me that GoFundMe account for the citizen that got picked up and got deported so that we can have a GoFundMe account and bring them back. They should have a passport. They should be able to come back. But that doesn't happen. Like we don't have that because it doesn't happen. Somehow people like Jimmy Kimmel have said that it's happening. So everyone says, well, Jimmy says it on TV. It must be true, but it's not true. I'm really confused. I'm really confused. So Fitness Focus Freedom Friday, that's what I'm talking about. How do we take that periphery distraction that is this mayhem and chaos? How do we take that and kind of dismiss it, push it to the side? I know it's hard, but try to push it to the side. And even if it's for half a day, if it's for a whole day, great, right? But even if it's just for half the day, how do you take those distractions, push them to the side and go, what could I optimize and really kick ass on today? And then just do it. Just do it. Dive in, turn off the distractions, turn off the notifications on your phone, whatever it is. If you're writing a book, write 2 chapters of that book. If you need to go to the gym, go to the gym. If you're doing stuff for work, like I see people letting their businesses falter because they're so distracted. They're not focusing on what they do to make a living. Focus on what you do to make a living. Like I said, for me, myself, I found myself getting a little bit distracted. I found myself losing some of that focus that I talk about so often. And then I was like, okay, this is what we need to have this month be a success. We need to bring in a certain amount of revenue every month. And right now we're falling short. January's off to a slow start. What are we going to do? Boom. We do some outbound marketing. We do some actual sales calls. We actually call some people. We generate some energy. And some people would say a higher power didn't make that happen, or you manifested it, whatever. All I'm here to tell you is the other day I opened up the email. There's the job. There's the task. There's the dollar amount. It's established. January is a success. When you run your own business, sometimes success comes month by month, week by week. And you have to use your gift of discernment to realize I'm on the right path. This is really happening. We're really going to put this together. Other people with more established businesses, maybe they can say, hey, it's a good year, it's a bad year. But sometimes it comes down to the month. Sometimes it comes down to the week. And for some people, sometimes it comes down to the day. Am I going to have a good day today? And can I have a good day tomorrow? And sometimes that means take all those distractions, push them to the side, focus on what you need to do for the moment, at least for the moment. Focus on what you got to do for the moment. And then if you execute well, you will get a little taste of that freedom that comes down the road. Fitness, focus, freedom. And if it's a Friday, you finish Friday strong. Folks, have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.